Good morning, coming to you from Brooklyn, home sweet home. I wanted to share something that happened to me the other day, 2 days ago. It was like my last day in Mexico. Jared and I were walking down the street together, and I tripped over a giant cinder block. And it was like a really aggressive trip. I didn't fall, I caught myself with my other foot, and I also grabbed Jared's arm on the right side, so nothing happened. But I like kicked the cinder block as I fell forward. And I hit the cinder block with my right foot. Didn't think anything of it, kept moving on, no big deal. The next morning, I woke up with crazy soreness in my right quad, my right thigh. It was as if I had done about, I don't know, like 60 single leg L-sit liftoffs with just my right leg. And it was wild. I've never felt one leg so sore and the other leg felt completely nothing. And it actually took me a second to figure out what was going on. I was like, what did I do? Because I hadn't done a workout or anything. And then I remembered, oh, I tripped. I must have like really kicked it so hard, or it was such a kind of traumatic trip to the body that my quad contracted so intensely at the moment that it felt sore the next day. I didn't really freak out. Like, what was there to freak out about? My quad is sore. I'm familiar with a sore sensation, and I knew it would be gone within a couple days. It was mostly just annoying, and sort of laughed about the absurdity of it. Had it been a different sensation though, it might have elicited a different response. If I were to have tripped and the next morning woken up with, say, I don't know, a pain in my knee, like a really strong, sharp pain in my knee that affected me walking for the rest of the day. My quad was affecting how I was walking. I was actually limping in the airport the next day. Had it been knee pain, I might have reacted differently. I might have had some different thought process going on, like, oh man, did I hurt my knee? I wonder if I tore something. I wonder if I should step on these stairs today. Maybe I should be a little bit more careful. Right? There's some worry, there's some protection, because it's an unfamiliar sensation. Soreness, we're all familiar with, right? I'm super familiar with workouts, and most of us know what it's like to have a sore muscle after a hard day's work or after a workout. But knee pain isn't something that's as common. Not only is it not as familiar, but there's a story behind it. So what if I had woken up the next morning with lower back pain? Would that have produced a different story in my mind? Like, oh man, I wonder if I pulled my back. I wonder how long this is gonna last. Maybe I shouldn't pick up my suitcase. Maybe I shouldn't lift it up overhead, right? All of these thoughts, this train of this whole cycle of thoughts that happens after you feel a sensation can actually affect the way that the sensation continues to linger and the whole pain process that ensues. I was familiar with quad soreness. Happens all the time, so I didn't think anything of it. Back pain might have made me think differently. Knee pain might have made me think differently. The learning lesson here is usually stuff like that, like wait a couple of days and see what happens. What is the initial response that's happening after the pain moment, the sensation moment, and where is it coming from? Is it coming from fear? Is it coming from stories you've heard about knee pain or back pain? Is it coming from the fact that maybe like you were really nervous about the fall itself? Right? Maybe had the trip caused me to fall down, even if I hadn't hurt myself in the moment in the fall, the next day I wake up and I've got back pain or I've got knee pain, I might have been like, oh man, that was a really like traumatic fall. When in reality, the pain might have just gone away in a couple days. My quad pain was gone in 2 days because it was normal quad soreness. I'll give you a quick example about soreness and the familiarity of a sensation. So I had a client once, I actually still work with her. She's in her late 70s. And we were doing some push-up work on her knees and working her arms in a new way. I see her a couple times a week. I saw her on Thursday. By the time I saw her the next Tuesday, I was like, how are things feeling? And she's like, well, I was so sore in my upper chest and unfamiliar with the sensation that I actually called my son, who's a doctor, because I thought that maybe there was something going on with my heart. She thought she might have been having a heart attack because her chest felt tight. She was unfamiliar with the sensation of soreness in her chest. It was a new sensation, so she was scared, right? So her reactions are different. Whereas now, if she's sore, she knows the feeling, she doesn't worry about it, and it's gone within a couple of days. So our reactions are not necessarily a measure of what's actually going on. So it's nice to just check yourself sometimes, like, what am I actually reacting to? What's the reality of the situation? Maybe I just need to wait it out a couple of days before I freak out. The back pain will probably disappear. The knee pain will probably disappear. So just food for thought.